Hello, it is Sam Bear, and we are back with our week 11 update on 200 first dates. One true love.
Woo woo!
Oh, and that is Susie, our eager beaver dater. And last we checked in, she was 22 dates in. So, and 178 to go. I just did the math. It was actually a little harder than it should have been for someone with a master's degree, but that's why we have calculators on our cell phones. So, without further ado, Susie, what is the date total for this week? How many unique first dates did you go on?
I went on three, but let's pause that for a second. I really enjoy that you keep referring to me as an eager beaver when a beaver is a slang term for a vagina. So I'm an eager vagina, and we've never addressed that.
I
Like, can we just
wasn't,
talk about the fact that you call me an eager vagina every week?
dude, I wasn't even gonna bring that up, but it was at the forefront of my mind when I said it this week. I'm like, she's not even looking for beef, but maybe it's
I mean,
because your beaver is eager.
it's eager, it's not desperate, but
Desperate.
I
Eager.
know,
Our
I
eager
know.
beaver. Okay, fine. I'll come up with something else. But
I
she's
enjoy it. I just thought I'd point it out for once because I let it go for like 11 weeks and was like, nah, a nice, uneven number of 11. Let's point out.
let's point out. I know 11 weeks. I mean, we are almost 3 months into this process, and I'm excited because next week we actually have our first special guest coming on to the show. Um, Maybe we'll give some hints about who that might be, but I'm really excited to. Yeah, mix your freaking drink. Give me more
Oh,
work
I
to
thought I
do.
hit microphone. Sorry. I thought I had muted it. Oops. Sorry, I got a new microphone, so we're learning new things right now. Apparently, that mute button doesn't work as well as I wanted it to.
No. Oh
Nope.
yeah, how many drinks do you have this week? Cuz I know last week you had like 6. So what's the drink count right?
Technically, I only have two right now because you were on a phone call beforehand and I finished one and a half earlier. So I'm not going to finish that other half. It's a little too warm. So I'm only going to work on the two I have right now.
Wow. Okay. So, oh my gosh.
My
Let's
roommate
just
and I, two very different drinking problems.
yeah,
We should
very
edit hard out.
yeah, no
Sorry.
drinking problems. That's okay. Okay, moving right along. So, 178 dates to go. Let's hear about date number 23. Let's see if we can better streamline this. We're almost 3 months in. So, where did you meet this suitor?
Um, this is just a guy who came up and started talking to me
Oh my god,
at
in the
oh
wild.
yeah,
Love
in the
that.
wild. Met him in the wild. I
What's
want
his
to say like he
age?
started. Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh my gosh, you see, we're trying to streamline the process and you get so excited. Okay, so you take it away. You met him in the wild.
So I met him through. It was a cold call at work that I was trying to get some information about something that we don't normally do, and I had to keep calling him throughout the day, and I was asking for information, and he asked if he was like, I don't usually do this, but we're never really going to work together because you don't do what we're calling and talking about. So how about we go grab a drink?
Had he
And I was
ever seen you before?
no, these are phone calls.
Had you, so you'd never met?
He could have been 12 for all I knew.
Okay, don't be gross. So, but he
Oh, wait till
knew,
we go to what his age is.
oh my goodness, but he knew what your profession was.
He does. He knows what my profession is. He knows what I'm new, like where I'm working. He knows about everything. It's because what I was. I guess we'll just give it away. So we all know I work in construction. We were gonna have to turn off some. We said it. We said I worked in construction before. I'm pretty sure. If not, now we did. Hey. But we were going to be turning off some utilities to to some of the businesses around, and so I was trying to figure out how important water was to this one business where he works. Apparently, it's important. You know, And so I was spending a lot of time talking to him back and forth. So it was just on the phone. He had never seen me, but I don't technically work with him. So he asked me out, and I said yes, because why not?
Yeah.
It's one less date for me to find. So hey, yeah.
I love that that's why you said yes. And I do really love that this is like, that's pretty ballsy. I mean,
Well,
okay.
so I showed up to where we were going to meet up for drinks and met this lovely gentleman who is 60.
Stop it.
Not kidding. He's 60.
Did, okay, now I feel like I'm going to answer my own question, but like, did he sound 60?
No, no,
60. Did you
no.
sound older? I mean,
Oh, no. I apparently sounded younger, which is why he took the chance. Because he would love it if I would call him daddy. And if
stop.
we got along well enough, he would love to buy a collar.
Whoa. What? I'm just,
Yeah. Bought the
wow.
drinks.
I would hope so.
I definitely switched to a shot right then and there. Which I probably would have lemon lawed, except I was just sort of how you were sitting there like you can't move. And I had my fake smile plastered on, like, oh, I don't really know what to say at this point.
I agree. Yeah, I would. I don't think I would. Oh
I'm
my,
gonna take a shot, and
yeah.
then I'm gonna try and process.
I feel like a part of me would be like lemon law, but my body physically would be like, no, we have to stay. Like, we have to see, like, where is this going? I want to know more, but not too much, but I want to know more because I don't know if I'll ever talk to you again. So, what can I gather right now?
And I was not wearing the best bra in the world. And one of my nipples is pierced, and he noticed, and then told me that wouldn't it be great if I pierced the other one for daddy? Which again makes it harder for your brain and body to compute and catch up and be like, I really should be leaving, but I just don't know what the hell is going on and I can't seem to get up.
That's incredibly ballsy, too. Like, I don't know so much. In fact, I know very little about that type of kink. In all honesty, however, from what I've gathered from TikTok, so
You don't normally lay on the table after hello?
no, not necessarily, but like, so the daddy term is an honorific. I have learned, and also submission is not something that is taken. It is a privilege that someone who is, again, this is TikTok education, so if it's wrong, please someone educate me further, but I feel confident in the TikTokers who I've been educated through. So at any rate, someone who is submissive or is taking on that role in that capacity decides to give over that submission in some form or fashion, but a discussion from all of the TikTokers within that kink community, it's a very it's very agreed upon, and there are discussions based on what you would even agree to refer to that person as if you were to enter into that kind of relationship. So it all, and also what I've learned from these TikTokers within this kink community is that to impose those type of honorifics or to impose that kind of expectation before there's an agreement, it's really counter to how much respect is within that type of a kink. And so I feel like you were being slightly disrespected in this scenario. Like,
Oh no, I was.
this demanding almost of daddy would like this, daddy would like that. It's like, well, you haven't actually agreed to that honorific, number one, and two, you've not given your submission, and three, like, hello. Confused dog
I,
face.
yeah, and no, you are very right. If yeah, no, those I have several friends in those relationships, and I know people in that lifestyle. That no, you are. It is. it is,
It's
everybody
really
laughs
respect
about
based.
it is, but also everybody laughs about, that 50 Shades of Grey scene where they sit down at the conference table and like review the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Except everyone I know, they're like, I mean, it's not that, but it is very similar. No, you go to dinner and you very openly and honestly talk about, no, no, this is not a like, hey, I'm going to be talking about things to try and turn you on, or hey, let's, it is very business like of, no, no, let's just address what are things you like, what are things you don't. We'll talk about it where
Exactly.
there's no pressure, and it's not like I'm trying to get y'all. I'm not trying to get y'all worked up to go try them
Right.
right now. It's a no, no. We're just discussing things, and then we're going home.
Right. And like limits, and like what are your hard limits, and what are soft limits that you're open to being pushed because you're curious, but a soft limit could become a hard limit. I mean, and
Yes.
I've had that in a relationship that I was very secure in. I asked for something and was very clear about how I wanted it to happen, and it was fulfilled. And I told my partner, I don't actually ever want to do that again. Like, it, all the boxes were checked and I felt safe the whole time. I just didn't, it didn't, whatever I wanted from it was not what I
Been
got
there,
from
done
it.
that. Yeah, been there, done that. Don't need to do it again.
Yeah. And it's never been an issue because it was something I asked for, and my partner was just happy to be part of it, to be involved. It sounds,
Yes.
whatever people are thinking, it's probably, that's probably much more elaborate than what really happened.
I'm like trying to guess what it is. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have ideas of what things it could be,
What
but
it
what
could
is
be. Yeah,
it?
I'll just leave people in suspense because yeah, if you weren't invited, then you know as much as I'm willing to share, but in that sense of, hard boundaries, soft boundaries. Okay. I think we've exposed that between the two of us, we still both know very little about that kink community, but enough to know that, like, yeah, that this definitely, I feel like shoot, in 40-Year-Old Virgin, that one character, oh man, he's that comedian. Oh, this is gonna bug me. Or basically, he's like, I don't know what that word means, so I'm gonna take it as a sign of disrespect. Kevin Hart's character. Is that Kevin? No, that's not Kevin Hart.
No, it's
Oh,
not
that is
Kevin Hart.
definitely not Kevin Hart. I'm such
It's
an
not.
asshole. Shoot, I don't know who that is.
Hang
Yeah.
on. Google, the world of Google.
Oh
Here,
my,
let me play some music for you while we wait, while I look
great.
it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got your favorite song. I'll look it up for you. All right, I won't do that to you.
No one even knows.
Okay, sorry, that did not hit. I'm supposed to stop. For
Okay.
everybody out there who knows what that song is, don't worry. It's Sam's favorite song. She loves it. She loves it so much that she's trying really hard not to throw things at the computer screen to hit me.
I'll listen to it any day of the week. This is the slowest Google search ever.
I know.
Dang. That is definitely not Kevin Hart. Now I'm going to challenge you. Let's see who's going to figure it out faster. You've already got a lead. Let's see.
Um, Romney Malco?
Yeah, we found it at the same time. Yeah, Romney Malco, his line where he said, "Yo, I must take it as a sign of disrespect." That's what I feel is my general response to this date right now. Like, maybe I don't understand all that's going on, but I do feel it's a sign of disrespect. Strictly for the lack of communication. It's like a forced honorific.
Yeah, no, well, and as I said, it was a little like taken aback, and it was really hard to restart my brain.
Mm-hmm.
The drink was very good. As I said, I did immediately order a shot of tequila because, what else are you going to do in that situation? Uh,
60-year-old man where on a date that he thought he was going on with a younger woman, which also feels very predatory. And that might be a judgment, but I'm cautious of how young did he hope you were supposed
he
to be.
knew I was at least 21 because we were meeting at a bar.
Yeah, but that ugh.
That's so I think he was hoping for 21. But yeah, no, he jeans and like a button up and a button up like polo shirt.
I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I don't think I've asked what anybody else wore on a date. I think maybe that's a question. Maybe I've peppered in, but I'm just very curious. Like, what? Wow. Okay. Did he look 60? I don't know. I feel weird. Did he look old?
Um, he definitely looked older than me. I wouldn't have said 60.
Okay.
But I think part of that is because so he shaved his head, so he was bald, and I think when you don't have any hair to go off of, sometimes it's hard to tell guys' ages.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan from the back of his head looks the exact same when he was playing on, Bulls to now. I mean, there is no change compared to, like George Clooney, where when he was younger was midnight black hair, and now it's all now it's gray, but then it went salt and pepper and everything. Like you had a better guess.
Right.
But yeah, no, there's no hair to tell, so I would have guessed probably like 45, closer to 50, not 60.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he did ask my age at one point, and I told him because I was just like, yeah. And he goes, oh, wow. And I go, what? That's when I found out I was a year younger than his daughter.
Wow.
Not gonna lie, I was the idiot to go, huh? Wouldn't that be funny if we started dating and I did this? And he just goes, why? And I go, because I just want to see her face when you bring me in and I say that I'm a year younger than her.
Ugh, that's so gross.
It is, but in my head, I'm
I'm
like, that.
sorry. That's very judgmental, but I think that's very, I just feel that's very predatory.
I was just reliving scenes from Legally Blonde in my head about, like, she's younger than me. Did she tell you that in the court scene?
Oh, and see, here I am. I'm reliving like 90 Day Fiance, Big Ed, and his last girlfriend was younger than his daughter.
Then, I'm going with comedies because that
And I'm going with the tragedy of real life.
makes it less creepy when you're on the date.
Yeah, true enough, true enough, true enough.
Yeah, so, we was had some drinks, definitely figured out a reason to leave real damn quick. It's
Okay.
amazing. The cameras in my house kept going off, and I just thought my dog was in trouble and I needed to go home.
Okay, I'm over here like, oh no, what happened to the dog? Okay, slow to it. Got it, got it.
I know. Just thankfully, yeah, something like a cat or somebody was walking out in front of my house and my camera kept going off. So I was like, I'm sorry, something's going on at home. I just need to get there.
Oh, so your camera actually was going off. I thought you were just like, oh, my
Well,
camera went off.
no, so I have my phone set up so that like my light will flash whenever I get an alert.
Right.
Since I don't ever like to have the sound on on my phone, that's the way I know. So yeah, so that at least that had been going off. So I had apologized for the flashing when I first got there, but then I
Mm-hmm.
was like, hey, it's my out.
Mm-hmm.
So use that as an out and left. I mean, it wasn't even really a great like bar or anything. I'm like, I could have just walked out the door and been like, hey, I now remember why you don't go on dates with people you've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was awkward.
Yeah.
Sam's eyes are going back and forth. What else are you reading or doing?
Nothing.
She's like, bitch calling me out on doing shit.
Listen, man, I work for myself. I'm always doing three things at once. Says the woman who, yeah, you text and deal with dates and potential dates. So, this is modern millennial women, okay? We don't focus on just one thing at a time. Okay,
I know,
so
but you were making a face, so I thought it was interesting, but apparently not.
I was looking at a spreadsheet with numbers and I was calculating totals.
It's not as much fun as my head.
No. I want to call this guy Daddy Warbucks only because I currently am suffering through a migraine, and right now that's the only old man I can think of.
Sadly, yeah, but that makes it sound like he's rich or
I
has money a
know, I
ton.
know, and I can, and I, yeah, I
He
know, and I thought,
actually drove a Cadillac, like a big white Cadillac. Yep. So there's that.
so moving right along. Okay, okay,
Then, so we'll say obviously Dud not going out on a date with him again.
right,
Oh darn.
uh huh,
Then, I went out with. So I met him on Bumble. Okay, I don't remember a lot of like the details that you normally ask about this guy because like a year and a half ago when I first ever downloaded Bumble,
yeah,
he and I were talking and going back and forth, And we got to the point where I exchanged and gave him my real number. And then
Mhm.
we would just sort of like fizzle out and not, and like we'd be like, hey, well, let's hang out this weekend. Yeah, sure, hang out this weekend. And then like one of us wouldn't respond to a text, or like, and we'd go back and forth. And like every couple months, one of us would text the other one and be like, hey, you still alive?
Right.
Hey, what's going on? Your number's still good?
Gotcha. I've
So
had those before.
so I know he met on Bumble because his name in my phone is Frank Bumble.
Love it. Love it.
So that's how I know where I met him.
Okay, do we know
But
his
yeah,
age?
it's older than me and can drink. I don't know. Cause so I didn't ask him again because like, half a week ago he texted me and was like, hey, this number still work? And I was like, yeah, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
And it was a random thing. He goes, well, this time let's actually meet up. Let's actually go out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sure. So we went out. We actually met up and went out on a date. It
Okay.
only took like, a year and a half, 2 years of planning
Right.
for us to go on our date. So we went to, it's, I don't know if it's a chain or not, but it's a bar here. It's like a knockoff Applebee's or a knockoff Chili's. Like,
Sorry. Okay.
no, it's nothing special. But we
Right.
went there, hung out, had a drink. We're just hanging out, talking about things, and then I was like, "Well, I actually need to get going," because I was picking my roommate up from the airport.
Mhm.
So I was like, "I need to go to the airport." Because I don't think that's going to bode well for me if I call my roommate and go, hey, oh, I'm sorry, hanging out on a date. You can just take an Uber, right? Right, that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was fine. We went out. So he walked me out to my car. We're hanging out talking. And we did end up kissing.
Okay.
And this is where I told Sam that there was going to be a theme we didn't know we had. And it was fun. It was great until I felt a hand around my throat as I got pushed against my car and lightly choked.
What? What?
Can anybody else guess the theme without knowing what's happening?
How did you get into the BDSM kink theme? Like, what?
I
What?
yeah, yeah. This is this week's theme.
With the boldest people.
Let's talk about kinks.
Here's the thing. I'm torn both ways in the sense of like, oh, that's so bold. But I think I feel that way in the sense of you and me simply because I know, and I think also thank goodness and for our circumstances, and that we've both been very lucky to have not been in so many really scary altercations or situations with men. So I believe that like we could get ourselves out of a precarious situation like that. And I know that both of us, a consensual light choking, you know, it ain't so bad. I'm gonna say it. It ain't so
It's not.
bad. It ain't so
It's not. And
bad.
I will be very clear. This was not like it was one was like hand around my throat, like the lightest pressure. Like it was one
But
was like I could
still,
feel his hand there,
he
but I'm like, oh, that is not something you do on a first date and your first kiss.
exactly. That's where I come from. He didn't know your limits. He didn't know that was quite a judgment. And beyond a judgment call, that was quite a forceful act because there are quite a myriad of women and men who, and the non binary, let's come on, let's grow, be a better person, Sam Bear, let's go, all inclusive. There's quite an array of people who don't like that touch at all,
Yes.
period, who are not interested in it for triggering reasons and also just preferentially, who are like, I can't believe I'm going to compare the two because they're so different. But escape rooms, I have no desire. I have no desire to pay to be locked in a room to solve puzzles to get out. I cannot tell you how unappealing that sounds. Like, no. And there's nothing you're going to do that's going to convince me. If you all want to go, you all go. I'm going to go have lunch or get a massage and you can tell me all about it later. Like, no, don't make me do this. You know, so that my point is, yeah, like I think that's again a real boundary line. Is the theme this week BDSM kink, or is it crossing boundaries? Honestly, because I feel like you've had
No,
two.
it's gonna end up being kink and BDSM because
Okay.
yeah, because I have one more date. I only went on 3 dates this week, but yeah, so I have one more date where it didn't cross
Jeez.
boundaries. But yeah, no, escape room though is a good example too because I love puzzles and I love doing things like that, and I know you don't. So it is, you know, I don't want to yucky anybody's yummy, but
Right.
that's I think maybe you should ask before you
That's what
act
I
on
mean. Yeah, you
Oh
should.
yeah.
That's I think something that should, and whatever, for anyone who thinks that you can't do that in a way that's sexy, I'd say for the first, God, 2.5 years of my relationship, at many an intimate point, my partner regularly asked for consent. And I mean, now we're at a point in our relationship. There's never a non-consensual time between us, but I've like texted them. I'm like, you have my preemptive consent to do like X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I don't know other people's long term relationships, but that's where I'm at. I'm like, I can store this
It's not
away.
that they don't have consent. It's just you're very comfortable at any moment. They'd be able to look at your face and be like, "Oh, no, not happening. Got it. Stop what I'm doing."
Yeah, and I mean, and we verbalized, but at any point, like it felt like a very big turn on that they asked consent many steps into it for fairly long into our relationship. So what I'm saying is, here's how I could re-envision that scenario. Okay, I'm the dude or the lady, whatever. We take, we're making out. Here's the thing, I like have it. So maybe I push you against the car, which that could be a boundary push, but I whisper in your ear in a sexy voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, can I put my hand around your throat just to see how it feels? Just real light, just to see how it feels. I don't know. Maybe everyone's like nothing about that was sexy. I would find that one turned on that you asked, and also I feel like you're doing it. Well, I'm like getting turned on by myself, but like doing it in an almost playful way.
Yeah. Yeah, no. There
Anyway,
are different ways. Yeah. Everybody has different ways for different things. That one was just I was like, "Oh, we're a little bold. A little bold there."
a little bold. So two
And
for
I said like
bold.
I wanted to just preface like I said choke. It was not it was one of those like, yes, your hand was around my throat and there was the lightest of pressure. So I
Right,
knew what
right.
you were hinting at, but I'm like, oh no, no. First time you kissed me.
Yeah,
No.
that's whoa. That's a lot.
That's more. I'm like, oh, first time you kissed me.
Also,
Um,
you did that after taking me to an Applebee's equivalent. Like the math doesn't add up.
I know, really. Like, I mean, oh no, it gets better.
Like,
Um, he had a hole in his front teeth.
stop it.
Like, not like the. Here, I need to.
Not a gap.
There, not a gap. I have to draw her a picture, everybody. I might have to put this on our
Put it
Instagram
on
for
the
you all to
Instagram,
see.
yeah. 200
So,
first dates. If you're not subscribing, you should. We don't put hashtags anywhere. We update irregularly, and the pictures are taken from a phone. So honestly, it's the best content you're going to get.
so I have to, like,
Oh
those are
my
his two
gosh.
front teeth, and there was like a hole, like up by his gums. There was this like hole.
How do you even get that?
Well, and it took me a while. So again, I work in construction, so this, most people will be very grossed out with what I'm about to say, and I was like, oh, it's just something that happens. I was trying to figure out if he chews because I thought maybe there was like a bit of chew or something. Because I'm like, yeah, people put it up in the front of their lip, and I thought, oh, maybe there's a little bit of chew or something in his mouth.
Yeah.
I just saw, and it took me almost till right before he kissed me for me to realize, no, it's a hole in his teeth.
Yuck.
That's maybe that's something you address. I don't know, maybe. Oh my
I
god, I also
might.
completely realized I went on 4 dates, not 3 this week. I have another date. Okay, sorry.
My
I
goodness. Okay.
completely forgot one. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, I don't know. It was just once I noticed it and realized what it was very hard not to look at his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very hard. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're going out again. Like, I
Right.
mean, there was lots of awkward pauses, and I can understand how we can go 4 months without talking.
Uh-huh.
So, don't think that's a love connection.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that was the end of that date.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on date number 25
Mm-hmm.
with, so his friends refer to him as Little John, not my
Okay.
Little John, which is funny because I have a very good friend that I call Little John.
Yes,
This
you
is
do.
not my Little John. And again, I'm not exactly sure of his age. I met him out in the wild, as you would say,
Okay, love it.
because it was one of my friend's 50th birthday parties.
Yeah.
And we were at her 50th birthday party. Her neighbor came over
Uh-huh.
with her. So it's her neighbor came over with the girl that it's like his best friend. So it's these
Uh-huh.
two really good friends came out to see what was going on, meet the neighbors, like, hey, you're all out here, so let's say hi.
Yeah.
I started talking to her, to his friend. We exchanged numbers. We've been talking for a couple weeks now. And then she told me that Little John, her Little John, was asking about me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, sure. I'll
Yeah.
go out on a date with him. He is in the medical field, not like a doctor or nurse or anything, but he like sells medical equipment and works. So medical field, but not the healthcare provider
Uh-huh.
type of thing. And he was out here, he's working on his master's in something. I want to say psychology, but I could be wrong. Uh, renting this house right next to my friends. He lives across the street. I was like, cool, great. We were chatting. He was like, hey, let's go to dinner. And he has a baby face and also has like Utter's hair, how it was that like fine, like almost translucently white blonde hair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he has that. So it's really hard to tell I feel like it's hard to tell somebody's age from that.
Yeah.
Definitely now, after talking to him more, he's definitely in his 50s. Because he was
Huh.
making comments about his nephew who his youngest his brother passed away when he was 45. That
Uh-huh.
was his younger brother passed away when he was 45, and that was 3 years ago now. So I'm like, so at least
Oh,
48 would have been your brother's age now, so you're at least in your 50s.
right.
Because you said that you guys were like that you said that you were several years apart because you were out of high school before he got in and stuff, like things that he said. I'm like, oh, you guys were not in high school together, like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, so you're at least in your 50s. um but whatever, it was a good time. We went out, he took me out for dinner, we went to a local brewery, it was fun. Yeah, so he is in the kink lifestyle, and this
Seems
goes
like all
back
these
to
gentlemen are, to be perfectly honest.
however, this one did not. This is why I said it can't be like crossing boundaries or like, not disrespect, because so we went to dinner, we were having fun, he was talking about things, and then because I did feel comfortable going, like we met at his house and he drove to the date and did this because I'm like, I did spend the day hanging out with you already.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of my good friends lives across the street. I'm pretty sure I can scream loud enough and she knows where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, can't really do much there to, hurt
Right.
me. We got back to his house and we're hanging out, saying hi to the dog. And that's when he goes, hey, so gonna go out on a limb here. Are you into kink, or what lifestyle are you into? And broached the subject. And I was like, the little puppy. I go, huh? Who? Huh? Um, and he was like, yeah, no, I am. I prefer to be dominant with the people I date, and I prefer to be this. And as you were saying, it's like, he goes, no, I want you to be comfortable enough that you can give me complete control. He goes, I want to be able to earn that submission and earn that I'm in control of everything. But it's how you should be doing it. I feel like
Yeah, no, no, totally. It's just shivers of like, wow, that's like very sexy, but like, dang, that's a lot. That's Whew, that's a big thing. I mean,
Uh, well, no, it is, but it was definitely like, yeah, no, and I have experimented, and we have Halloween John, who is, obviously in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll talk about that later. Trust me, listeners, we will get into Halloween John and how one of our good friends almost fell into an orgy, which you think would be hard to do. Apparently not.
No, very
Apparently
simple, very
real easy
simple.
to get fall into an orgy on accident. Is it on accident or by accident? I never remember. This is why I do math, not writing. Uh, but no, like we were sitting in his house. He had let the dog out, and then it was very much like sitting down on the sofa and him going with, what do you like? What do you like? What are things you've thought about exploring before? What have you tried? This is
Right.
what I like.
Yeah.
What are you open to? Are there things you don't like? All that stuff. So it was very interesting. Very much like, oh, not how I thought this evening was going to go.
Yeah. That's pretty bold again.
It is, but I feel like a bold in the right way.
Yes, true. That's not crossing boundaries, that's learning your boundaries.
And he did also have a little bit of an advantage because, as I said, I've been talking to his friend.
Right. Okay.
And so she and I had been talking about some things. And because I know she's in the lifestyle. So I had been talking to her about things. She's also dominant, in case anybody's wondering, because she was talking to me about being frustrated with her new sub.
Hmm.
And like things. So he had an idea of things that I already liked and things that I didn't like because she had given him a heads up.
Right. Okay.
So,
Fair.
cheating a little bit, but whatever. Because I knew she had told me as well. So like we
Uh-huh.
both had insider information before we went on the date.
Yeah.
Uh, and then because he made a comment, he goes, "Well, like I really enjoy zippers," and I was like the metal, like I don't know that. He goes, "No, like clothespins, you do a zipper," and I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand what like." And he goes, "Oh, well, you want to?" He goes, "You want to see?" He goes, "No, I'll just do it on your arm." And I go, "Yes, actually, yes. Please show me what you're talking about."
Right, right, right.
So So it's the like where you take clothespins and he like puts them on you. He goes, just get enough so that it doesn't like it's not pinching like the pain, but it's on you, and then you have a rope through, so you can just pull the rope and they all go snapping off at once.
Oh, okay,
So it's
okay.
a zipper.
So he's got it. I kept thinking that somehow he was like piercing your skin with
Yeah.
something. Okay.
No, so it's like putting the clothespin on my. So you put the clothespin on my arm.
Right.
Space. He goes, oh, he goes, so you put it in. And he goes, and then you just wait like a couple minutes, which we've all done that. We've all done that where we like wrap the rubber band around our finger and then like oh it starts turning. When you're younger, you
Yeah.
do that, or you do the Chinese finger trap thing.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, no, you just wait a little bit, and he goes, see, and then you pull it off, and it's the sensation of the blood all coming back.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, no, so I mean that was fun. Definitely got to see his bag of toys. He's
Did
into
you?
rope. Yes, I
Huh?
did. He's into rope. He's into tying people up.
Okay. And will you be seeing this gentleman again?
I think so.
Hey, I am excited.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that he's on the roster.
Yeah, no, and I say, wouldn't be the first time I've been tied up. I enjoy it.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, definitely has more experience than I do.
Well, okay. We're in this for new experiences. Okay, and then you had one more date this week, right?
Yes. So then the other date I had, this is a guy that I have to cheat and pull up my phone because I didn't put him in my journal yet because I forgot about him,
The
which
date
probably is a
diary.
good
That
indicator about how
Yeah, I
great
was
a
gonna
date
say that does
is.
not bode well. That is not.
No, it doesn't. Do. Let me. I think this is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is. So he actually works in construction as well. We didn't know that until we were on the date, and we were talking about he's a supplier that my company actually uses.
Hmm.
So didn't know that until we were on the date. Um, he's also 5'5".
Okay, so I want to put this out there. 5'5" is taller than me,
It's
but
not taller than me.
right, and
He
I
comes up
do
to nipple
know
height.
that's still fairly short. I'm trying to think. I bet I could ask him. Big Red was taller than that, but not by much, right? He was
Not by
five
much.
six, maybe 5'7".
He was 5'7".
Look
He
at
wasn't
you.
that much shorter than me. He was 5'7".
There we go. Okay.
Because he was only like 2 or 3 inches shorter than me, and I'm like 5'9", 5'10". So he's 5'7".
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to think. And then, so, okay, Johnny, you remember him from college who I dated? I don't remember him being so particularly tall. Do you think maybe he was still 5'7"? I just don't
He's
think
yeah. I say he was like the same height as Big Red.
as Big Red, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Big Red the inch. I'm gonna say that Johnny was 5'6". Petty, don't care. So anyway,
Well,
because
don't put
I'm just
your
trying
dates
to
on
use
the
men
internet.
who I've dated as markers.
Yeah,
As someone who is short, and I used to get this of like, well, you're short, why don't you date short men? Like, well, because everyone has a preference. It has nothing to do,
yeah.
like, it's preference. It's preference, you know?
And so he didn't. His name is Mike. He didn't have his height on his profile,
That's probably
so
intentional. Because I feel
I
like
bet it was. I
five
took a
five
chance.
for a man is short
It
because
is.
those other men that I mentioned, who Big Red and Johnny, um, who are respectively 5'6", 5'7", they would sometimes say that they were short, and I would tell them, I think you're average, if anything. Like, I don't. And then also, I'm like, I'm 5'1". You're taller than me, and honest to God, that's more of what I care about.
Yeah.
But I think that that is more of the like average height for men, she says, without any true knowledge or reference.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
five
no,
five is short, probably.
it is. He also had a lazy eye.
Why did you let me fucking ramble on about height? You should have led with the lazy eye. Oh, we're horrible people. Oh my god, where did you look? I feel bad. I couldn't not ask. Ah, oh my god.
That was part of the problem, and I purposely chose the side of the table that had like the sun coming in, so that I um. So, but he had told me before, and he goes, "Hey, by the way, I have a lazy eye. I just want to be upfront about it." And I was the smartest and go, "All right, I can't spell. Just want to be upfront about it. Like, if we're saying faults, there's mine."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh," he goes, "Well, sometimes it freaks me out." I go, "I don't care. Like,
Uh huh.
whatever." But it was my problem was it might have been the angle or the sun setting. I don't know. It kept looking like he was looking at a TV off to the side. So I kept wanting to look over and be like, "What team's winning?" or "What TV are you looking at?"
Uh
Because
huh.
I just thought he was looking off to the side past me, and no, it just his eye does that.
Just me eye.
Just his eye, it just does that. So
Jeez.
yeah, he I it wasn't a bad date. It was just one of those, there was definitely a lot of awkward pauses. He also told me about like, so he used to live up in like Utah or
Yeah.
something, and was his sister moved to Utah, and I could be wrong about the state, but moved to Utah, and he did, wasn't really happy with his job, so he decided to get a new job, but was like, but I really want to be around my nephews and my family, so he just moved to Utah
Okay.
to be closer to them, and was living there and realized, no, no, I don't want to live in Utah. No, 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 this is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And so just moved back down to where we are now and didn't tell anybody. Like his sister called and was like, "Hey, you want to like come over on Sunday?" He goes, "Well, I'm here now." And she goes, "Oh, well, I guess when you come back visiting," he goes, "Oh, no, no, I live here now. I just moved." Where I must be like, I would never just move and not tell my family.
Yeah.
Especially when you said you moved to Utah to be closer to your family.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
Don't you think you should? He goes, "Well, I mean, I would have gotten around to telling them." I'm like, most people would have gotten around before, they left the state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, silly me. I think that's a good indicator of when you're moving. Tell the people you love before you cross state boundaries.
Yeah, that seems like some kind of a red flag personally for me.
Yeah, no, and then I'll just read his text message to me out of the blue that I got.
Wonderful. Love it.
Um, Do do do. So yeah, so because we went out on Thursday, we were hanging out, and then he was like, "Oh, I made it to the weekend," and he like snapped a picture of the beer he was drinking. I was like, "Me too, congrats! I'm gonna go get one now too." Um, and he's like, "Okay," and he was like, "Cool, great, talk to you later." Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I just got, "Dude, I came so hard," and then immediately followed like, "Oh my god, wrong person. Ugh, I'm so sorry." And I just sent a like gif of somebody laughing uncontrollably because I just go, "That's an interesting conversation starter."
So
And he goes, "Thanks for being understanding. I'm still embarrassed." This is the next day. He goes, "I'm still embarrassed." And I was like, everybody texts the wrong person sometimes. Just forget about it. He goes, "I was having some adult time and my best friend kept calling me and I ignored it, but he kept calling. Finally, I had to answer and be like, 'Dude, I'm busy. Later.'" He texted and asked how it was, and I was trying to respond to him, not you.
jeez, I ugh, pass.
Oh, I know past, but just a fun conversation that now I have saved I can read.
That's true. Fair, fair enough. I feel like that is Instagram worthy.
Yeah.
So let's see. That's all the dates, right? That was four.
That's all of them. Yeah, so I'm up to 26.
26. So 26 dates down, 174 to go. We are 11 weeks in. And next week, we are going to actually have, as I mentioned earlier, our first guest. So a third voice will be gracing the presence. Do you want me to let our audience know who or what will be discussed, or do you want to drop some Easter egg hints? We can see if anybody guesses.
Well, we can let them guess because this is this expert we talked about having on, like in
That's
the beginning.
true. That's true. We have mentioned this
We have said
person.
this several times,
We have.
and I'm interested to see how this goes.
Yes. I'll say this. Pictures were sent. That's
Yes.
fairly big. If I'm even using Easter egg right, what I'll say hint. That's a pretty big hint if anyone's been listening and paying even a modicum of attention to some of the experts. The fact that I've
Yeah.
just said pictures were sent. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, that's totally fine. You should still tune in anyway. I'm really excited. This next episode is going to be uh, definitely geared towards Susie specifically. However, the information shared will be applicable to people who
Everyone.
are, yeah, to everyone, to people who are dating or are single and in the dating shuffling around building their roster. It's also going to be applicable to people who are in long-term relationships or who are just in, new relationships. So it's not just for any one kind of person, whoever our special guest will be, but it is, yeah, next week's is going to be slightly more informative, and I'm really excited. Like we're bringing in the big guns at 3 months in, our quarter of the year check mark. First quarter reviews, I guess. We're doing first quarter check-ins.
Yeah,
How
which
do
is
you
good because this
feel?
will be.
How do
I
you
feel
feel
good, but I'm
about,
also interested with
uh-huh.
this because this is the first time that we're going to have an expert that's it's going to be geared towards me and things that I need to be changing or doing to improve my dating life. So
Yeah.
this is, I mean, in the end, like it's great that I'm open and saying yes to people and going on dates, but what are the things that you need to do to improve what you're already doing? So this will be interesting.
Yeah, and this is, yeah, that's very true, very true. I've gotten some interesting feedback from the few people who I've shared this process with. A lot of people are just really excited for you. They think this is a great thing that we're doing, and they're like, it sounds like fun. And I said, I hope so. I'm having fun, but I'm at least I don't have to. Susie's doing all the hard lifting. Um,
You do all the editing for us, so that's hard lifting too.
Let me tell you, that is definitely a different type of commitment for sure. Um,
That's how I know you love me because you
as
don't make me do that.
acts of service, yeah, right. I know. How I know you love me is you pick me up from the airport with either Starbucks and a bagel or the full intent of going to get Starbucks and a
And a bagel.
bagel. Right.
Doesn't matter what
Or,
time of day.
no, it doesn't. Or that crumble cookie. Like, that's dope. Like, I'll take that. Uh, yeah, I'm just curious how it feels really to be almost 3 months into this process. Like, I think I asked before because now, I mean, we're continuing along. What's something that you've learned so far from this?
Well, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I definitely could, like, if I really wanted to, have a date every day of the week. I could
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like, if I wanted to make this a second job, line up dates, I could do it. Which I had like that month and a half where I was pretty much doing a date every day of the week, which was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm getting back now to that was fun. Let's get back to life being a little bit more balanced. Let's create
Mm-hmm.
a routine and say these are my date nights. So I only have so many date nights a week. So I can do things like go to the gym
Yeah,
because also as we've said, I haven't bought groceries in like 2 months. So you need to start working out more because if you're only eating out,
fair enough.
no,
I'm curious, and I think I kind of know this, but what happened with the teacher? We were.
it just like fizzled out. Like he just isn't responding.
Uh,
He like I'm just not
yeah.
gonna sit around and wait.
No, I know. Don't. Darn, I was so excited. I get so invested.
That's the same as like the oil rigger, the oil boy that like we were
Yeah.
talking nonstop. He was back, and then all of a sudden, like no word. I'm like, okay, well,
Let's see. I think I'm going to give you some homework because that's fun. We're a quarter in and we'll be meeting with this expert next week. I would like to challenge you to kind of go through the information you've gathered both in your life and this last 3 months and try and get maybe write not a mission statement per se, but more clearer statement on who you're looking for. We asked this kind of at the beginning. Let's see if now we've gotten a little clearer picture. And maybe that doesn't look like a sentence because I'm open to this looking different. Maybe it looks like here are 5 qualities that are musts. And here are
yes,
5 that I don't want. And they can be physical because we have preferences. Like that's okay. But they can be other things. So I feel like that might, as we enter quarter 2, maybe we shift to being a bit more discerning, you
I
know.
agree.
Cool. Thank you. I love that you agree with the homework. So far, every piece of thing I've mandated, you're like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
Sure. Hey, I'm open. I'm not. I'm not. I'm single too, so there's got to be a reason I'm single. Like, there's got to be work I can do as well. It's not just always the guys.
I guess, but
Yeah, but so far the difference is I'm willing to work.
I think that's like the perfect note for this. So I'm not going to try and even end this better. So, one more time for our loyal listeners and even the newbies 200, 200 first dates, one true love. Susie, our avid dater, I'll just say that. She is 26 dates in, 174 to go.
I just
Wow.
love watching the light bulb come on when you do math.
Golly, it is the most challenging part of this entire segment. So thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we record new episodes on Monday. And we are excited to have you all tune in next week to learn from our mystery expert. And I guess I'm still working on a sign off, but like until then, let's look for love. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Actually, that's a better sign off. Until then, we'll figure it out. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.
Boy.